Okay, so just so everybody knows that it is being recorded and we're probably not going to be editing anybody's beautiful face out. So if you really don't want to be have your face on the recordings, just black it out like some of them have done. That's fine. And you know that your secret's safe with us. We know who you are and we know where you are. And that's part of what's a blessing right now. We're getting people in from all over the place and trusting that the work that we are doing is gaining momentum. Uh, as some of them have been sharing, Dennis was down at Soulshine and Ange and Kit were there. Who else in the house was there? Susan was there. Yeah, Catherine was there. So there was a lot of representation of our group and our energy and just the message that we bring to the communities, mostly in Canada right now, but there are no limits to where we can be seen and heard and shared now. So that's pretty extraordinary. Yeah, tonight's project and focus is going to be on working with your Merkabah headquarters. And that is something that is going to be really essential in the days to come, because each and every one of us must be able to tap into that inner core part of ourselves where things can be adjusted, uplifted. Basically, the concept is when you can connect, you can correct. So when we're able to connect in the Merkabah energy field of our own being, our own soul, our own spirit, it really does offer us up an incredible amount of tools and access to maintain our alignment, our attunement, our connection to source, your blueprint. You know, we each came with a purpose, and right now I can't think of anything more extraordinary or powerful than what is happening inside each soul as they step forward into their power, into their purpose. A lot of people go, well, I don't know what my purpose is. Trust me, you're already living it. If you're sitting here, you're watching this, you're listening to what is going on, you're gathering in this space and in this energy field, you're already living your purpose. It doesn't have to be something that is a flag that's waved or a flashing light on your forehead or anything other than you just showing up to the best version of you each and every day. However, saying that, having tools to work with that are incredibly powerful in the way that you can connect to ways of adjusting yourself. If you're triggered, if you're not feeling well, if you're not sure what comes next. This is very much, we're in the quantum field right now. And a source had given me an image of where we are at. So just, for a moment, envision this. We have taken the quantum leap. We've taken it. We're what is being shown to me is we're in the air. We've taken the leap. We're in the air. Nobody knows where they're going to land. Nobody knows what's ahead. Nobody knows what's coming. But our faith has taken us and we have taken the quantum leap. So here we are. And the idea is that maintain your faith, maintain your connection to source, maintain the purpose for which your heart keeps nourishing you and nudging you into. And if you can do that, that's a phenomenal service right there. Our own heart is your base of all things divine. It actually is our mind. We tend to think that, what's in our head, the brain system, is our mind, but it isn't. It's simply, this is a data processor. That's what our mind is, or our brain is. It's a data processor that remembers things, records things, repeats things, and will reveal things to you to keep you entertained or distracted every hour of every day. The heart is where the truth of everything that is happening is unfolding. And honoring and respecting that your heart has the answers, it has the source of your supply, it has the connection to what comes next, what comes now. This is where we build a sense of comfort and trust. If you can trust your heart right now, you can do anything, because your heart is what's guiding you through. Call it the GPS system. The head will say, well, let's go here, let's do that. And the heart will say, you sure? Or what about? give you options, give you opportunities that may be something that is more in alignment with what you were meant to be doing, as opposed to what you believe you should be doing. There's a lot of that going on because mental mind always has a to-do list. There's never everything marked off the list. There's always something on the to-do list. If you choose to get distracted and follow the brain system, you will probably not have the energy that it takes to do what needs to be done. Because our list is there for us to get energetically worn out, exhausted, so that you can't actually achieve the spiritual things that you're meant to do. Whereas the heart will not only show you the spiritual things that are a priority, it will support you and elevate you with energy to achieve it. So very, very important that we're able to connect and maintain our heart light to the best of our ability. Again, if you've got a day where soul self says, oh, we're diving in, we're taking a deep dive down into something that needs to be revealed or healed, that's okay. You know, day tripping is fine. We all do it. But you need to know that you are responsible for getting yourself in and out of that experience as quickly as possible. Just because you go there doesn't mean you have to stay there. Doesn't mean you deserve to be there. Doesn't mean that, you know, the rest of your life is there. It just means that something inside of you is saying, this part of who you are isn't trusting, or this part of who you are isn't feeling in alignment. This part of who you are is having a difficult time getting attuned so that you can pay attention to what is really meant to be going on. So if you're someone that is a multitasker, guilty as charged, you might be finding right now that your to-do list is very much a challenge at soul level for the warrior within to pick one thing off the list, and only ever one thing off the list. The multitasking time, it scrambles your energy field, it scrambles your focus, and it scrambles your energy to the point where you will find yourself exhausted thinking about doing it. Has anybody experienced that? I'm just tired of thinking about it. You know, that wears me out, never mind having to get off my butt and do something. So it is really looking at priority. What am I meant to be doing? Here's this huge list endlessly in front of me. I cannot do it all, and I'm not meant to do it all. I am meant to do one thing. So let soul self pick what that one thing is and commit yourself to it. There comes another challenge, actually committing yourself to the one thing until you have started it or initiated it, you have experienced it, and you have to some degree completed it. There may be residuals. We all know the human experiences. We carry things forward. That's our mathematical design and blueprint, carry some of it forward. But for the most part, pick something that you can complete and experience it and be able to look at it as an achievement. In other words, what we're doing is so important right now. If you can be your best advocate and your best cheerleader by saying, I did it. Not only did I initiate it and experience it, I completed it, and here I am to report to self. Good job. Stop looking to other people for the good job messages, for the good job signals, because it's not other people's responsibility to do that. They can be supportive, they can be encouraging, they can be inspiring, but it's up to us as a soul to be able to sit at the end of the day and go, good job. I did the best that I could with that situation or that challenge, and I'm pretty happy with the results. So this is going to be exceptionally important as the energy field continues to ramp up, and there is no end in sight to that. So if you think we're just in a phase or we're just in a part that, you know, at some point we get to the end of the energy challenges, no, we're continually being elevated by frequencies, by energies, by just the interaction. The kinetic energy right now in the world is something that we are having to navigate. It doesn't mean that you have to bump into everybody and resonate with everybody. That's not the point of it. Just get your own sense of resonance, your own satisfaction of what you're doing and doing it well. and the kinetic energy will kind of fall into the background. Whereas if you get irritated, agitated, or you're having frustrating moments, you're going to hit the kinetic field. And the kinetic field, it's like what I keep seeing right now is energetic tennis. You hit the ball out and you think, oh, good, I got rid of it. Well, guess what? Incoming, boom, it's coming right back at you about as quick as you hit it out there. So taking responsibility for your energy and how actively you soothe and comfort and focus on yourself and your purpose is going to play a key role in everything that's happening. Good old Mercury in retrograde, we're in it. But this time it's almost as if it's a diving board for those who have done the work. So I'm going to repeat that. Mercury in retrograde right now is a diving board for those who have done the work. It will take you to greater heights. It will move you forward in ways that you probably couldn't even imagine. It will take you higher. But remember, when we do the higher leap, there is always the fall that comes with it as well. And it's okay. It's when we're falling that we catch ourselves in those moments. Oh, I'm not trusting. Oh, my faith is wavering. Oh, I'm not focused. Use it as a way of self-correction, which is what we're going to be doing tonight with the Merkabah. And we're going to take you on a journey into the Merkabah field so that when you're having those moments of, I kind of say the experience right now in our humanness is the, oh, wow, isn't this wonderful? Look at the energy. Look at how I feel. It's all exciting. It's all bright. It's all new. And then we have the, oh, shit. Down you go. And it's accepting that both of those are teaching us. Both of those are elevating us to a greater awareness of ourselves. Never discount that and think that you've done something wrong, or you should have done it different, or coulda, shoulda, woulda, whatever. Take that descent energy as a blessing of observation. No more victims. There are no more victims allowed in this quantum field. They don't exist. There's only people who volunteer to learn more about themselves and about life and about each other and about the quantum field. That's what we're all in the air about right now. You can be, kind of spreading your wings and enjoying the soaring, or you can be flailing around going, I don't know where I'm going. That's not really going to help you. Just stop yourself in that fear moment, relax, calm yourself into a place of free fall. God's always got your back, source, whatever you want to call it, always has your best interest at heart. If you need a parachute, one will appear. If you need a landing pad that's all puffy and soft, it'll appear. Just let yourself experience the amazing energy of being lifted up higher than you've ever been, knowing inevitably at some point in the experience, right now, this will not be forever, but right now, in the descent or in the falling, you are being shown the contrast of what it is like to live in the higher frequencies and learn how to maintain them over time, and what it is like when we are not there, and to recognize the difference. Identify yourself for you. What is the difference? Sometimes you'll notice it in your breath. You'll notice that you're short of breath or that you're tense. You might notice it in the way that you're thinking. If you're having difficulty following a thought, if you're having trouble resolving things, it's just telling you that you are not in resonance with your highest level of potential and that it's up to you to correct it. So we're going to learn some of those tools on how to correct tonight. So when the Merkabah was first shown to me, probably over 10 years ago, when it appeared, I was in a really sick physically state. I was in a high fever. I was uncomfortable all over. I couldn't move, couldn't do anything, sick as a dog. And I don't get that way. So I know when I do, there's some recalibration taking place. There's something going on that my higher self is trying to help me shift and change something that needs to happen. So I've learned to trust that being sick doesn't mean, again, that I've done something wrong or I should have done it different. It just means that there's a layer or there's an aspect of myself that is shedding and it's cracked open and it needs to just simply be lovingly dissolved instead of resentfully. Lovingly resolving these things allows our energy to kind of rise up from what we were in that unwell state and show us the potential of what's possible if we're not holding on to whatever it is that the illness is bringing forward. So what was shown to me is these energy orbs, and it's a ball of light. And when we focus on the ball of light, it expands. And when we don't focus on the ball of light, it contracts. So the idea is when you learn to use your energy to expand the orb or the Merkabah energy, it actually will expand to the place where you can enter into it. And every aspect of your body and your being is represented inside that orb. So we're going to go through the different ways that the body can heal. I'm going to explain it all first, and then we'll take a journey, because I really want people to be comfortable with the feeling of what it is like to be in the energy field of creation and how that is a purest form or reflection of source energy. We are source energy. We are nothing but source energy. The faults, the flaws, the fears, all of that is still a part of source energy. The light, the dark, it's all one. And every aspect of that is something that we need to be able to love, no matter whether we're in it or observing it. Whether we're recognizing that inside of us, both light and dark are essential parts of who we are in every aspect of ourselves, in every cell, every system. Because light and dark is positive and negative charge. It's an energetic connection where one cannot exist without the other. So if you can kind of make peace with that whole concept of darkness as being a bad thing or an evil thing or an undesirable thing, an unloving thing, you will find that everything in your personal experience will change. There's no longer a battle going on. There's no longer a war of words or a war of rights or ways. We begin to honor and respect the differences. And we have talked about that before, that the biggest challenge of humanity right now is to stop judging the differences and start honoring them, loving them, embracing them, because it's the differences that make us unique, that make us an equal part of everything that is needed to expand creation. Without those components, it just doesn't happen. So yeah, the light and dark within us, it's not a war of the light and the dark in the way that we understand it as angels and demons. It's a unification that is trying to happen between two aspects of who we are that need to work together in harmony and unity, because that's what oneness is. So when the planet finally wakes up as a consciousness and accepts that it is the differences that make us who we are and what we are, and to live the way we live, we honor the differences and the war is over. There wouldn't be a war if everybody honored the differences. There wouldn't be a religious war, there wouldn't be a government war, there wouldn't be a racial war, there wouldn't be a gender war. It would just be this beautiful love fest of honoring and respecting the differences as all a part of what creation is. So that is something that is very much a part of our consciousness that is shifting. And right now we're kind of in the darkest part of that shift. When you look at the amount of wars around the world, the last sort of remnants of the old way are still desperately hanging on. And when those moments happen, what I suggest you do, and this has worked for me many, many times, when there is conflict, when there is differences that create agitation, irritation, frustration, take that situation, take that part of who you are that is resonating with it or struggling with it, if you want to call it that, and place it into the quantum field or into your Merkabah as a way of transforming it so that it can be transported to a higher level. Just keep putting it either into the hands of God, into the center of source, into the light of creation. You design for yourself what works for you as a concept that you're comfortable with, that your heart can accept and align with. And every time something comes up that you feel is hurtful or unloving, transform it. It's our job, it's our responsibility. We're these beautiful biological beings that can transform energy in the most phenomenal ways once we remember how. So tonight we're gonna do the how. And then from there, it'll be exciting to see how each of you utilize that for yourself personally, and get to feel the difference that it makes. Again, honoring the differences. The you that is irritable and frustrated or triggered is one version of you. But in contrast to that, the difference is there is a version of you that is peaceful and contented, compassionate, loving, and caring. And in every moment, we get to choose which one we're going to be. It doesn't mean that either one of them isn't lovable. We need to be very clear on that. One is teaching us contrast. The other is teaching us how to create a better version of who we are that is more loving. They work well together. They're designed to work together, to motivate each other, and times to irritate the heck out of each other. It's their job. Look at it that way instead of, it's a mistake, or I made a mistake, or, the one that most women hold, I am a mistake. That one is one that you can take into your Merkabah and do lots of healing work with. Okay, so before I actually start into explaining more about it, there's been a lot of information given. I'm going to stop and ask, are there any questions up until now? Because if you're like me, the question's there, the question's there, the question's there, and then partway down the road, it's like, what was the question? It's hard to maintain or retain. Is there anybody that has any questions so far? Oh, go ahead, Dennis.
Okay, so I wrote down here, Mercury in retrograde is like a diving board for those that have done the work.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not familiar. I didn't ever get into the Mercury retrograde, Jupiter, that kind of whatever. Okay. Where are we at?
Okay, so the energy field that is around us is always inspiring us, triggering us, shifting us in some way. When Mercury is in retrograde, the planetary alignment is like looking at, the best way it's been described to me, which gives you a visual to work with. It's like watching a wagon move forward, but the wheels look like they're moving backwards. Have you ever watched a car where, the car is moving forward, but the illusion is the wheels are going backwards? That's what Mercury in retrograde is. It seems like everything that you've built or everything that you've been working towards somehow is being unraveled, undone, not working, not moving forward, not happening the way that you would like it to. And again, it's an energy part of the rhythm of creation that allows us to do a review every once in a while of where we are, how we feel, how connected we are, how aligned we are, by challenging us to review the things that aren't working. And as uncomfortable as that can be, or unhappy sometimes, because it does show up a lot in relationships, where you think you got somewhere with resolving something, and then when Mercury comes into retrograde, it's like the whole can of beans gets spilled on the floor again, and like nothing happened. But it's not that nothing has happened. It just means that there are some things that are within that whole experience that still need your attention. And if there's something in there that isn't unloving or isn't loving, that's what needs to be pulled out. So when you're in Mercury in retrograde, expect to see, when frustration comes up, that's the flag. So instead of staying in frustration, just take a moment, get a place where you can go quiet and just take an observer's look at what's going on. Why am I feeling this way? What am I frustrated about? what's got my attention or what needs my attention that I'm ignoring or denying or, running away from. So it's being able to pull yourself into that experience instead of avoiding it. Mercury is probably the strongest rhythm of our planetary cycles that brings reviews of deep work. It's deep fears, deep thoughts, deep judgments. They all like to appear during Mercury in retro. So this one is designed for those who have understood the game and how it's played. It will be more of a diving board experience where you can take things that would normally frustrate the heck out of you and keep you in a disconnected state for a period of time and laser focus on it to the point of resolution. That catapults you higher than you've ever been before, because you have consciously created a new way, a new direction, where normally you might stay in it and suffer through it. We do like to suffer.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Now there was another hand up. Yes, Nisha, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Sorry I wasn't muted before with my loud whatever it was. So Donna, my question is, I've heard this term Merkabah before several times, and I've asked about it and they've explained it and it's gone in one ear and out the other. So is Merkabah a process? Is it energy work? Is it a sacred geometry symbol? Because I've seen that as well. A way to access your ability to manifest, a meditation? Is it a way to activate something?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, and yes, and yes. Okay.
Yeah, the best way to use a visual on it again is the orb of light. Some of you may have identified it energetically as a crystal cave, or you might have seen it as being in the forest where you are completely surrounded by Mother Nature's canopy of trees and greenery. It is a personal thing to you that helps you identify for yourself what vision best suits your perspective. For me, it comes up as an orb of light that is suspended in the air. And when I focus on working with it, it expands to the point where I can enter in. If at that point I'm either in a place where I don't have focus or I'm not in alignment, I don't have time, that's a popular one these days with our crazy schedules, then it just simply diminishes. It doesn't mean it isn't there. It doesn't mean it isn't available. It just means that we, with our heart and our attunement and focus, are the ones that open it up to enter in. So we'll go into the different parts of the Merkabah and what that actually means to give you an idea of all of the things can be accessed in it. This energy field, this Merkabah, is connected to every dimension, every era, every aspect of existence, every part of creation. So there really isn't anything that cannot be resolved or solved within the Merkabah when you are consciously within it and working with it. This is where it becomes an important tool for those of us who are working in the quantum field, because quantum field is unlimited. So think of the Merkabah being shown to us as our personal version of the quantum field. So it's a little smaller to deal with, it's a little smaller to focus on. Doesn't make it any less powerful or any less significant in what we are able to accomplish when we enter into it. It just means that in our human state of, we're very limited in our thinking still because all our DNA has not been activated yet. We're in the process of that happening, and the Merkabah is part of that process to help expand and activate higher levels of DNA, which means that parts of our brain that formerly were inactive and not able to communicate with our heart are being brought on board. It's kind of like a biological computer. We're being brought online a step at a time, a bit at a time, more and more as we can embrace it and not get overwhelmed or intimidated by the idea of it. So it's a growth thing. It's a soul and spiritual expansion thing that grows as fast as you are comfortable with. Now, Mercury in retrograde comes along and pokes at that a little bit and, does challenge you to maybe grow a little more than you're comfortable with, or take on roles that you're maybe not necessarily thinking you're capable of or qualify for, and just poking you forward a little bit. So we'll call Mercury the nudger. It's always bringing you some form of information that says, this part of you is ready to grow. You need to trust that. You need to accept that and just inch your way forward. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions before we go into?
Passionate has one.
Oh, go ahead, Pashna.
Thank you so much, Donna. This is really, really helpful. I have a question that I think maybe others have. If you could just comment briefly on it. And I think it's just old negative thinking. How do we get over this feeling that there's a dark force out to get me when the mood drops or when you're triggered? How do I get past that thought, or could you just comment on it?
I'd love to comment on that because it's so perfectly in alignment with the challenges that the collective is in. I want you to go back to a moment when you were a child and you did something wrong, and you knew you did it wrong, and you knew it was your fault, and you knew that it had consequences and possibly even hurt someone else. Do you need punishing at that moment, or do you need a big hug? Think of the darkness as that child. We all have that dark side. We all have that unknown, that part that we fear because it's not understood, it's not accepted, it's judged. That part of us is the darkness that just needs to be loved. And what is the difference when that child is held and comforted in that moment when they've made a mistake? What is the difference, Pashna? Oh, I can't hear you. You've got yourself muted.
Ask that question again, Donna.
Okay. Oh, well, what I was saying is that if you're that child in the moment that you've made a mistake, would you rather be hugged or punished?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And in those moments when darkness comes, those are the decisions that we are being offered, because unconditional love is just that.
Mm-hmm.
And the human experience has definitely given us a full library of conditions that we have been taught and programmed to believe are unlovable.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the aspects of us right now that are healing. And more specifically, the collective is bringing them to the surface. And we know that a lot of what is being brought to the surface is incredibly dark.
Mm-hmm.
And we have been programmed to call it evil. We have been programmed to, literally fear it or hate it. Whereas when you consider that love is more powerful than anything, if you can use the source of creation and love in that moment to embrace it with love, it changes the frequency and the vibration and the connection to it. So in other words, you will still have a connection to it, but through forgiveness and compassion, you no longer have pain from it, or you no longer have fear of it, or you no longer seem to have the innate desire to judge it, because that creates friction. And friction in the quantum field will be a whole lot different than friction in the human world. Friction in the quantum field is felt immediately. And it isn't comfortable. So it's just, again, as we merge ourselves into the higher frequencies, we're being taught what I call cosmic behavior. It's acceptable to judge, it's acceptable to fear. However, the consequence of that is we feel a little less than loving or worthy. So as soon as we shift the love back and embrace the situation, it doesn't mean, and I want to really clarify that, it doesn't mean that you accept what happened or the behavior behind it as okay. That's not what love is. Love accepts that it happened, and it accepts that both parties involved in whatever was taking place have something to learn. And once that's learned, the lesson becomes a blessing. And that's what we're after. Love transforms the lesson into a blessing. But it's up to us to discover what it is that we are not loving through that process. I know sometimes it can be really hard to comprehend, and if that's the case where I just don't get it, and we've all said that, I just don't get it. I've done everything I can think of. I've done everything that I can possibly imagine. I've tried prayer. I've tried this. I've tried that. Those are the moments where we're talking right now. Take that whole situation and hand it over. Because the solution and the resolution, either within your Merkabah, which is where Source of Creation meets with you, or just to the universe. If you want to just put it out to the universe and say, you know what, I'm not getting it. I'm stuck with this. I truly want to learn. I do want to know. I do want to let go, but I'm struggling, and I don't want to struggle anymore. So love yourself enough to hand it over. Because if anybody thinks that what they've experienced personally is the worst that's ever happened, trust me, what we're up to these days in our advanced spiritual journey, we're a lot softer, a lot lighter, a lot less invasive or hurtful than we were when humanity was in the dark ages, literally. So what we're up to right now, it's nothing compared to where we've been. So if you can remember, you've already been in the darkest of dark, in the deepest of deep, doing the dirty deeds, and you got through it, and you're still here, and you've learned from it. Have compassion for your soul, and just learn to hand things over when it does get to the point where you just can't bear it, or you just can't solve it. Sometimes just handing it over is enough to clear the energy field of suffering. We're not meant to suffer anymore. It was always optional. Seems like a lot of us tick the boxes off, all of them, when it came to suffering. We don't need to do that anymore. That's not required and not even recommended. We don't deserve it. So yeah, let's lighten our load. Okay, was that the last question before we go into our little meditation and journey? Everybody's good? Yeah, we'll have a chance at the end to ask more questions. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of our breath work in just getting ourselves settled into the concept of the Merkabah. And it's to understand that with this journey that you'll be taken on, it's called the Merkabah headquarters. And I had to kind of laugh because it's kind of a play on words, that the head, or our concept, our perceptor, is divided into quarters. And for the most part, it resides in here. And as we go into the different aspects, the 4 different quadrants of our Merkabah, you will see that each quadrant offers you different ways of resolving and healing. And you'll be walked through it. Just remember, this is recorded, so you can go back through. Don't get caught up with, oh, I missed it, or try to remember. Don't stress yourself out. You can go back and listen to this again if you find that you want a greater understanding of what we're going through and how it all works. So yeah, get yourself comfy. I'm going to suggest, if you have a light that's on and it's right in your face, that maybe you just turn it off. Just soften the energy field, or even, just turn your own video off so that you're relaxed. Nobody's watching you. Nobody's expecting anything of you. We're all just relaxing into this beautiful state of awareness that we are on a healing experience journey right now. So as you're taking your breath in, really focus on that breath and how easy it is, because for the most part, when we are not in alignment, you will either find the in-breath difficult or the out-breath difficult. They won't be the same. So just take a few moments and focus on your breath. Is it easier to breathe in or is it easier to breathe out? And through that process of awareness, use your intention and equalize the breath so that breathing in is the same as breathing out. And as you're breathing in, bring with that the concept and the energy of relaxation. And as you're breathing out, use the energy of releasing. Breathing in relaxation and breathing out releasing. And we're going to have 5 steps that we move forward on. And with each step, you're still going to use that same breath of breathing in and breathing out so that you are aligning yourself to the energy of that step. And we will start with the first step that you're on, and you can be in the sand, you can be in the ocean, you can be on crystals and rocks, it doesn't matter. You pick the step that you're on, but we'll call that step 5. Breathing in and breathing out. Moving forward to step 4. Breathing in and breathing out. Moving forward to step 3. And you'll feel the breath bringing a deeper relaxation, and it's almost like your steps are sinking into the step. Breathing in and breathing out. Step number 2 is allowing you to breathe in quiet, silence, stillness, peacefulness. Breathing out anything that is resisting, letting go and releasing any energy that is not in alignment with relaxation. Step number 1, you can feel it's almost liquid in nature. It's soft, it's moving, it's pulsing, it's energizing you and preparing you for a shift in your energy field. And as we are on step number 1, we're going to breathe in the idea or the concept of enter. And as you breathe out, you are in your Merkabah. Once you have entered into the energy field of your Merkabah, you will notice that it will either be a bright light or it may be velvety dark. Either one is fine. It doesn't mean anything other than your frequency, your energy field, the essence of your being is calling this experience forward so that you can heal the deepest part of you. And allow yourself to move into the center of the Merkabah. And you'll immediately feel that your body either wants to go into a horizontal position, suspended in the middle energetic field, or you may want to remain in the vertical position, standing up. There's no weight, there's no effort. There's just you suspended in this beautiful energy field of love and light. When you are in that centered state, the energy will move through you from the head to your feet. If you are standing up, it is working with attunement. Your chakras will be attuned to the highest level of what they are capable of energetically maintaining. And just see them as little spinning wheels, gently being activated from head to foot. If you are laying down, you are being given an alignment treatment. In that alignment treatment, all of the systems, organs, structure, tissues, cells, every aspect of your being is being pulsed with energy and light. And that gentle pulse will move from the head down through the feet. And just be comfortable knowing that your body and your being in this spiritual state knows exactly what to do. Your biological being is an intelligence all of its own. And the more you trust that, the more gentle the energy becomes. And the more you allow it, the more it feels peaceful, comfortable, healing. And just allow your breath to continue to move through. Your breath is permission. You breathe in the willingness to allow, and you breathe out any resistance that is present. And this continues on for as many breaths as it takes. And just know that through this process, everything is being energized and mobilized for a higher frequency version of you. If you need to come back to this place at another time, you now know that it's available for you to work with this energy in this way. We're going to move on to the next part of your Merkabah energy field. And as we take in a nice deep breath, we're moving to what you will visualize as to the left of the orb. And as you move to the left of the orb, you will see a tunnel or a column of light. And you are asked to enter into that column of light. And that column of light will be any color. It may be ultraviolet, it may be infrared, it may be gold light, maybe pure white light, it can be soft pink light, it can be a blue light. But just know that that light and the frequency of that light, as it is beaming down all around you, you're going to start and hear a sound that comes down from the heavenlies, and that sound comes from the top and moves through your body all the way to the bottom. It's like a light that filters through your being. And it's gathering anything that is not healthy or in alignment or in attunement and magnetically removing it. So the sound will start at the top and go all the way to your feet, to the soul of your being, and then rise up again as it removes anything that needs to be healed and taken care of. Taking in another in breath, bring the light down all the way through and around you. And as you breathe out, it's going to rise up and be released. And this part of your Merkabah is designed to continue to do that until you have a complete clearing, where your heart can actually be felt and heard and resonates to the highest level of your soul's capability. You might even start, instead of the sound of the light moving up and down, you may actually start and hear a heartbeat that moves with the light as it cleanses and purifies. And again, you can come back to this part of your Merkabah energy at any point in time for healing. But right now, we're going to move to the next step in the Merkabah. As we take in the in-breath of the intent to move and the out-breath, you move into the furthest and the opposite side of the door that you entered in, the opposite side of your Merkabah. You will see a huge screen, like a movie screen. And that movie screen will present to you, it may be images, it may be numbers, it may be patterns, it can be absolutely anything, but note, is it in black and white? Or is it in color? Is it a still shot? Or is it a movie that is moving and you can see it unfolding? Either way is fine. It's just being able to witness and observe that. If it is in black and white, it means right now that you are existing in mental mind. And mental mind is only part of who you are. So as you witness that black and white version or image that is up there, let your heart begin to color it in with vibrant colors and images of patterns or beautiful things. It can be florals, it can be stripes, it can be plaids, it can be just beautiful dots of color. Whatever it is that your heart and soul feel would add to your well-being and your awareness, that can expand your mind and your ability to see and observe. Just keep adding color until you can see it full and filled. And know that at any point in time, if you have a moving film, you can bring it to a still point. In other words, a still shot, which a movie is made of. And you can be asked to be shown, is there something specific in my life that I need to see or to address or to be aware of? And let the movie slow down until it is actually stopped and the one frame is right in front of you. Breathing in a willingness to understand or to accept that this is a blessing to help you see something clearly. And as you're breathing out, just release any fear or judgment that the mind might want to come and stop you creating with. Breathe in, it's okay. And as you breathe out, just feel the shift that takes place as you are watching this part of you that is calling out for healing. See yourself opening your heart and shining the projector of love on that one frame in the movie. And see how quickly it comes to life again and the movie starts to roll forward. And the colors are more vibrant and the energy is more intensely beautiful. This is another place that you can come to when your soul is seeking guidance or direction, or specifically to address things that are happening. Now we take in another deep breath, and as we move around further into the next quadrant of your Merkabah, you will see before you a hallway that opens up. And it's almost as if it looks like a hallway that goes into forever or eternity. On the right side of that hall is your Akashic records, like a library of books. And that library of books has all of the information about everything that you have ever been, you have ever done, you have ever learned, you've ever experienced, is all in those books. And on the left side of the hall is a similar library, but all of the books contain emotional moments, defining moments, hurtful moments, painful moments, celebration moments, memorable events of part of what you have created and manifested will be recorded in those books. And as your soul looks down the hallway, you will see at the very end an incredibly beautiful white light that most will talk about when they are crossing over at the end of a life experience. That white light is there as a reminder of your eternal soul, the expansiveness of you as an entity and an energy. It is there to comfort and inspire and soothe That is the energy of love that welcomes you to simply walk down this hallway. And as you do, depending on your soul's needs and requirements in your conscious awareness and subconscious, the books will fly off the shelf, the ones you need, and land in your hands. And when a book has landed in your hands, it's not about having to read the book or remember the book or record the book. Just take the other hand and place it on top of the book and embrace it as your soul's karmic completion story. I am willing to complete this part of who I am. I am willing to appreciate and value what it means to my soul's development. I choose to acknowledge that this creation that I was partaking of had value and meaning and purpose. And as you declare, so it is, the book will vanish. And keep walking down the hall until you have books on either side that present themselves to you. When books come off of the left side and it's emotional or it's colorful, just allow the book. They tend to be more floating as they come towards you and land in your hands. And whatever is in that version of you, that book of you, that is meant to heal in this moment, is incredibly light. And you may even feel that book has a temperature of warmth, comfort, nurturing, forgiveness, peace. And placing your hands on that book, allowing your soul to acknowledge all of that, to know that those hurtful moments that were lessons are in this moment becoming blessings. And it's called wisdom. Just allow the wisdom to remain, and what you went through, as you breathe out, the book will dissolve and only the wisdom remains. So you may need to return to this hallway several times in your life journey. Most specifically in the next few weeks, you are encouraged to return here as often as your heart calls you to it. For your soul is on a magnificent period of time where love is being activated and initiated into your cellular self at an unprecedented level. And this is your chamber of blessings. This is your space and place of healing yourself. And as you continue to look down the hall, you will see standing in the light the most amazing version of your higher self, who bows graciously and gratefully to you, honoring your courage and your strength and your ability to become anything you choose. You are entering into the quantum field of co-creation. And that is an incredible part of the human experience that is unfolding right now. You are worthy, you are blessed, and you were simply asked to continue to show up each and every day, maintaining the best version of you that you can, knowing that the entire universe is observing this process and how each and every soul is coming through it victoriously, graciously, peacefully, and now lovingly. That was the purpose of the plan from the very beginning. So we have taken the complete tour of your Merkabah energy field, your orb, or whatever version of this chamber that resonates with you. And we're just going to go back to the center where we started the journey, facing the exit. And as you take in and out 5 breaths, you will be walking out of your chamber, but taking the blessings of the healing and the light and any changes that have taken place with you. And when you have completed those 5 steps, just come back into this moment, into this circle that we have created of souls who are like-minded and like-hearted, into the place where you are awake and aware and willing to take the experience and do something extraordinary with it. First of all, for yourself, but knowing that by doing it for yourself, it is the greatest gift that you can bring to the collective consciousness of humanity. It's called your divinity, and it is all a part of who you are. And when you're ready, you can just open your eyes. Okay, Dennis, I'm going to let you just take a few moments and whatever is upon your heart, because I need to just ground myself for a moment. I'll be back. That was deep.
No worries. I'll share the vision that I had and some of the thoughts that I was navigating to come into my heart instead of being in my mind. And when I got to the hallway, for some reason, I was almost like in this Rapunzel type tower. And then it said, look to your right. And I was like, okay, well, that's all of the outside wall. And then it was filled with books. And it was clear, but in my head, I had the little gnawing that, yeah, but it's supposed to be a straight hall. You're not supposed to be spiraling up. And then Donna had spoke about looking ahead to the light. And I was like, okay, well, I can look up. I'm still with it. And then when she said, look to the left, and we were talking about the emotional books, and as well when they came out, and they were dissolved, I had envisioned putting the emotional book that I was done with back, and it slipped all the way through to the other side and fell down. And I just was continuing my walk in this ever slowly journey around the outside. And then I had a very emotional moment near the end, to looking up and feeling like I was seeing a goddess image of light looking down with just such reverence and respect. And it was interesting to hold the thought that that's me. So it was a very, very special journey. Thank you.
You're most welcome, Goddess. All right, who else would like to share? I'm going to ask at this point, sorry, Dennis, I should have asked for you. Would anyone prefer that I turn the recording off at this point? You're okay to be an inspiration for others?
I'm okay with it.
Okay, God bless you. It takes courage to do what we're doing and to share it publicly. So honor and respect to each and every one of you for playing that role and being the one. Okay, who else would like to share? We'll do several more because our time is already past. Believe it or not, that journey we were in took a long time, but it was worth it. Anyone else? Okay, go ahead, Charlotte.
You'll have to excuse my voice. That was a very emotional experience for me. Donna, I want to thank you. That was the first time I was able to witness my parents together at the end of the white light, cheering me on, giving me the energetic thumbs up. So thank you. They've both come separately to me, but never together until today. So that was very special. Thank you.
Very symbolic of you getting it together.
Yes.
Honoring
Yeah.
that. All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anyone else? No, lots of personal journeys tonight. So I truly respect that. And I'm not going to pressure anyone into sharing. If you would like to send me a little note privately, I'd be more than willing to hear your testimony to what it is your soul has benefited from. But as you can see, the Merkabah is an extraordinary place that is a part of who we are. It's a part of creation. Think of it as us entering into one cell of our body, where everything that we are is available. And that one simple cell has the power to shift and change everything about our world, our inner world, our outer world, and the unified world that we are co-creating together as, I'm going to call us special souls. It takes a lot of courage to do what we're doing and to continue to show up no matter what. Well done. Well done. Thank you. So I think on that note, we're going to close the meeting tonight and trust that each and every one of you will continue in dream state to color in some of the things that your soul is asking you to become. We're no longer black and white. We are full, incredible color. We're a movie to behold and watch. So, yes, Pearl. We can't hear you, Pearl.
Okay. I just feel we will have to just share with you that we have had an amazing week of being in nature, totally in nature, in a quiet place. We have not so much as turned on a TV or opened a book. We have gone into silence, and we have sat in the sun, and we have lain on the grass, and we've walked through paths through the forest. And everything you've said tonight to us has been confirmed in us. And we have seen ourselves as masters. And we've been just so filled with light and love. We pretty much have been floating many times.
Yes.
I don't know what else to say, but this is very, very real, what's happening in our world right now, and that we are ready.
It's a sacred journey.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
yes, thank you for sharing that. We need to share more of what is going on and what is happening, and not be shy about the changes and the shifts, because as we give word, I say it, giving wings to the words, we do initiate the energy field even more powerfully. Holding it within is a blessing. It is a form of transformation, but being able to speak of it is like standing as a soul in the light of creation and saying, I'm here. I'm here, and I'm showing up for the role that I came here to play.
Mhm.
It's my time, it's my turn, and I'm here. So thank you very much, everyone. Truly an honor. You have no idea. we will continue the journey to the best of our ability and support each other in the best way we can. That's the gift that we bring to each other. That is the purpose of being together as a community, as a group of souls who simply know beyond all doubt who we are and why we're here. And every week we show up in whatever version that is. It's like I say, tonight was kind of a party. It's a come as you are party. And don't ever show up any other way, because whatever version that is so loved. So incredibly loved. All right. We'll just do a little closing prayer of gratitude and thankfulness for the time that we have spent together and shared this incredible journey. We just ask that our hearts continue to inspire us and guide us, to open us up to the potential and possibilities of which we are maybe not even aware of yet. We know that what is to come on this planet is heaven on earth, and we are starting to feel the presence of that energy, the presence of that beauty and the glory that comes with it. And we just truly, truly are thankful to be a part of it. And so it is.
So it is.
And so it is.
Oh,
Good night, everyone.
huge, huge blessings to you,
Good night.
Donna. Our hearts are full from all your words and what you have brought to us. It's a tremendous gift to us. And we truly honor you with all our hearts.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's an honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you very much. Good night, everyone.
Everyone.
Thank you so much, Donna. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good
night.
night. God
Love
bless
you.
Love you.
Love you.
She has a gorgeous smile.
Okay, hello again.
I love that. Inhale love, exhale gratitude. Indeed. Oh, my dear friends. Yeah. Good night.